I usually get pretty excited whenever there's a new router that comes to market, and this one is just now hitting the store shelves. Bosch sent this one out for me to review, but it's their new mid-size plunge router. Let's check it out. And the model number on that one is a GOF13-25. Let's see what all you get. Looks like that's a component to an edge guide. Oh, dust collection fitting. I always like to see those. And there she is. Yeah, that's not too heavy at all. Let's see how it sounds. Yeah, it runs pretty smooth, and it's got that soft start too. I like that. There's a couple of rods included for the edge guide, and then there's a box with some goodies in there. Looks like we've got a collet wrench, some nuts and bolts, and then a roller guide. So that's kind of an interesting attachment. You don't see that all the time. More on the accessories in just a minute, but first let's just get a better look at that router. So because this one is set up basically as a dedicated plunge router, you start to get some features that are a little bit harder to get in a combo kit. Check this out. Variable speed thumb wheel right there where you need it, so you can adjust that on the fly. I really like that feature. And then the triggers in the handle too, so that's always appreciated. The thumb button can act as a lock out as well as a lock on, so triggers locked on until you're done with your cut, and boom. The handles on this one are placed at a pretty natural angle, but let's just check the plunge action here. Now this one is usually locked until you press the thumb lever, and the plunge action I would say has medium resistance but plenty smooth. You know, I like to give user feedback anytime they come out with a new router, and some things they really listened on, but some things they didn't. Overall, this thing really reminds me of the 1613 and kind of a small version of the 1619. Those were really popular plunge routers back in the day. This one has a flip down guard, kind of like the 1617 does now, and I don't mind that, that's fine. This has a multi-step turret, so I really like that. And one thing they've done that differs from the 1617 is they've done away with the adjustment tip on this, which on my 1617, that thing kind of wildly rotates as I'm plunge routing, so I tend to just not trust it. So they've gone away with that adjustment, but now there's no way to micro adjust that, so that's kind of a negative in my book. However, it's easy to turn, and there's 8 individual steps, so I do like that. And most importantly, there's none of these adjustment screws. That's kind of the nonsense you see on other brands, and I just don't care for that. So this one does have some things going for it. And one thing I was really glad to see are these springs on the accessory knobs. So these will lock down things like your edge guide. And if it has springs there, that just means that the knob's not going to back out in regular use. So they really got that one right. The dust collection shroud goes on with 2 small thumb screws, and all that's included with the kit, so it's definitely nice to have that option. So back to the edge guide accessory. You know, it's a pretty basic one. It just goes together with a couple screws. No micro adjust or anything fancy like that, but that's fine with me as long as I can use the one I already have. This one's the RA1054. It's got nice micro adjust on it, smooth sliding surfaces, and ooh, looks like no dice on the wide rails, but I know this one has narrower positions for smaller routers. But those are too narrow, so overall looks like this edge guide's not going to be compatible. But at least it comes with a basic edge guide, so you're not left empty-handed. There's also a center point in case you want to convert your edge guide into a circle cutting jig. I probably won't use mine that way because for the once in a blue moon I need to make accurate circles. I have a dedicated jig for that. It's nothing fancy either. It's by Jasper, but certainly does the job. They've updated these. They look a little different, have a different color now, but I'll put it down in the description box if you need one of these. I've got a lot of routers, and sometimes my wife will ask me, hey, why do you need so many routers? Well, need is a strong word, but in case anybody asks you that question, I have prepared this statement. I need enough routers to leave some set up for common operations to make my workflow more efficient. Well, that's the line that always worked for me and kept me out of trouble anyway, but let's take a quick second and look at 2 other Bosch models. These are very common models, and I want to see how they compare weight-wise to this new one. Now, these will both be combo kits, but we'll only worry about the plunge base, and that 1617 comes in a little over 10 pounds, 3 ounces. Now, the MRC23 is a 15 amp router, so we'd expect that to be a little bigger. Looks like it's a little over 13 pounds, 12 ounces, wearing that plunge base. And drum roll please. The GOF13-25. Yeah, quite a bit lighter in this mid-size category. 8 pounds, 5 ounces and change. And you know, I've used these other routers quite a bit, so I can give you my quick impression on them. As far as this 1617, what I really love about it is the motor. So if I'm using a router table with, say, a router lift or even a plate that I can drill to match, this 1617 would be my preference for that. Whereas the MRC23, I love this one for handheld use, and I use it all the time in both the plunge and fixed base. It is a little bit bigger and it has some weight with it, but sometimes that can work to your advantage. And then a couple things to look at on the sub base here. It's got this long flat on this, and I'm still not sure why router manufacturers have a flat on this. It's certainly not to follow a straight edge, because that, if you've ever tried it, is disastrous. You definitely want to use the round side so that if you rotate the router at all, it doesn't deviate the cut. I suppose it has the advantage of just being able to get into tighter spaces occasionally, but overall I'm generally not a big fan of having that flat spot on a router. And then if you want to use a guide bushing for doing something like cutting shelf pin holes, you'll need this adapter, which does not come with the router. You just slide a lever on the top side and then drop that in, and it'll lock in place for you. That in turn will let me use my more standard guide bushings, and for shelf pin holes I like to use one with a 3/8 inch outside diameter. I suppose you could use these proprietary guide bushings. Admittedly a little odd looking, but the reason these don't work for me is they're just too long. I like to use 1/4 inch MDF templates often, and these ones I'd have to hack them all up to use them that way, so I just use the brass ones. And no LED light on this one, I guess. That's unfortunate, but really not a deal breaker. This is my absolute favorite way to cut shelf pin holes, but if you are going to do it this way, make sure to use an upcut spiral bit, otherwise it'll smoke you right out of the shop. Try a router just once for that. I bet you never go back to using a drill again. Nice, clean looking results, and the fit is what makes the difference for me. Just absolutely precision fit every time. So that result looks as good as any other plunge router I have. Good so far. For years I've said, you know, we may be ready to go back to dedicated plunge routers in the shop, but you know, are there any negatives to that compared to a combo kit? Well, here's one I came across. So now I want to demonstrate cutting a mortise with the dust collection fitting, and the bit will actually have to come out to allow that. So compare that to a combo kit where you could just lift the motor slightly to add an accessory like that. So even that basic edge guide did a pretty good job, and one thing I noticed with that, dust collection hooked up, cuts nice and clean, at least for inboard cuts. Nice. Then I wondered if it could handle something a little more delicate or accurate, like this ginkgo leaf inlay shape that I sometimes use to make a little recess for an epoxy inlay. I've got a couple spots to clean out yet, but I can tell that it's cutting everything to a nice consistent depth, and that's half the battle. Yeah, so that does look like it's capable of very precise work. I use this template to make tissue boxes and then fill the recess with green epoxy, and it actually makes a pretty neat looking effect. That's one of my all-time favorite small woodworking projects, but you can just get kind of a dazzling effect with that, but you definitely need a plunge router to get that done. And remember your line. You have to have it all queued up and ready when they ask why you need another router. I need enough routers to leave some set up for common operations to make my workflow more efficient. And then the critical miss on this one, at least in my opinion, it only comes with a 1/4 inch collet. Well, I thought that's no big deal, so long as I can use my larger collets from my other Bosch routers. But those are actually quite a bit bigger. They're just incompatible in size and thread pitch, so it's just not going to work. There is a spindle lock button, so it's really set up for single wrench bit changes. And the wrench it comes with is just kind of a flat stamped version. Nothing to write home about on that, but if you do want to use a 2-wrench style bit change, you just have to order another wrench in that case. And that feels pretty natural to snug things up. So that caught me off guard a little bit, that there's a router in the professional line that won't use a 1/2-inch bit. After all, it's got the power for it. It's not a situation like the Bosch Colt where, you know, it's smaller, so you need to limit it to a 1/4-inch shank. This one has the power. For years, we've been using routers in the 10 to 11 amp range, say around 1 3/4 horse, and they're perfectly capable of running those bits, but with this one, you just can't run bits with a 1/2-inch shank. But if you're good with that one limitation, and most of your router bits are 1/4-inch shank anyway, this one has those really cool features like the variable speed thumb wheel and trigger right in the handle. So previously I had to jump up to something much heavier like the MRC-23, so just for a mid-size fighter, this one might be a nice add-on to your shop. Alright, I guess that's about the size of it on that one, but if you're looking for a new Bosch Plunge router, I'll have the link down in the description. Oh, as well as that Jasper circle cutting jig if you're looking for one of those. But do me a favor, give me a quick thumbs up, and consider, if you haven't already, subscribing to The Thoughtful Woodworker. I'd love to have you here on board, and you never know what fun project we're going to tackle next Saturday.